I love all of you. You're so wonderful. There's a light in the darkness, though the night is black as my skin. There's a light burning bright, showing me the way. But I know where I've been. There's a cry in the distance. It's a voice that comes from deep within. There's a cry asking why. I pray the answers up ahead. 'Cause I know where I've been. There's a road we've been traveling, lost so many on the way. But the riches will be plenty. Worth the price we've had to pay. There's a dream in the future. There's a struggle we have yet to win. And there's pride in my heart, 'cause I know where I'm going, yes I do. And I know where I've been. There's a road we must travel. There's a promise we must make. Oh, riches will be plenty, but the risk and the chances that we take. It's a dream in the future. There's a struggle we have yet to win. Use that pride in our heart to lift us to tomorrow. For just to sit still will be a sin. Lord knows I know where I've been. Oh, and we win. Hallelujah, Lord, I know where I've been. Yes, thank you, Deerfield High School.
Welcome to Meet the Biz. Oh my God. Talk about magic. Talk about charisma. This woman has it all and more. I mean, she's a beautiful woman with a soulful voice and comic timing that was like, woo! You just start laughing. She was one of the original Harlettes. Okay, let me tell you how important that is to me growing up. I used to watch the Bette Midler show. I've seen that show about 100 times from HBO. I know John saw it on Broadway, as he said, John Paces. Let me tell you, she won the 2005 NAACP Theater Award for the Best Supporting Actress for Hairspray. She's been in Married with Children, Beaches, Sister Act 1 and 2, Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Band, the movie, 20 Feet from Stardom, and coming very soon, Studio One Forever, directed and produced by our dear friend Mark Saltarelli. So without further ado, the lovely, the beautiful, the wonderful Charlotte Crossley.
Hello, everyone. I'm
Hello.
coming to you from a very small bedroom.
Me too. It just looked big because it's like the way the camera is shooting.
I know, but I'm happy to be here with you today, and I'm going to lower this shade so we'll have a little bit more. Oh, that's much better.
I love it.
Please excuse me that I'm doing this from my phone. I couldn't get my iPad to cooperate.
I know those days.
Yeah. It's so nice to be with you. Now,
oh my God.
Where are all of your students? Are they all watching online?
We're all here. We're all here in the room.
Oh, great.
There is how many people here today? Let's see. We have over 50 people here today.
Oh,
so
well,
I know.
Can they see me?
They can see you, and we're of course on your phone. You can't see all of them. But what I'm going to do is I'm gonna ask you a few questions because
start right in,
and then the students will come in and ask you a few questions too. So to have you visit here is wonderful. The first question that came to my mind is, when did you know that you could sing?
Well, that's so nice of you to ask. I started singing in church when I was 7, but there was always music in our home. My dad was a great singer, and his family, all those Crossleys, they could sing. All those aunties had beautiful soprano voices. The uncles had great voices. So I was around great singers. And I started singing in church when I was 7, but it's something that always soothed me and was comforting to me. And I remember listening to the radio with my mother and my grandmother, but listening to the radio with my mom and listening to all the singers, and I just loved it. And then I found that I could mimic people, so I would listen to people a few times, and I'd start singing like that and press my ear up against the speaker. So music was always very comforting to me, and singing most of all.
Right. Is there a song growing up that you go, okay, this is the song that first hit me?
Well, it's so funny because I was listening to my parents' 78s. So I listened to a lot of Duke Ellington. I listened to a lot of instrumentals, but the singers that really captivated me were people like Patti Page, of course, Peggy Lee, but these white singers were very interesting to me. Everybody sang so straight and so pure. And then I loved Lena Horne, and I loved Ella Fitzgerald. Loved clear, beautiful bell tone. But it's funny. I listened to all these white female band singers, girl singers of the day, and of course, television was very new. So every time on TV, I was just in the tube watching every move they made. So it wasn't just the music, it wasn't just the songs, it was the whole theatricality, the costumes, how they look so comfortable. They're wearing high heels and wearing tight dresses, and so it was a totality of the experience that went along with the music. But listening to music was always, I had Disney records that were like pink and aqua and red, those red vinyl records on the record player. And I would listen to the music of Cinderella, Sing Sweet Nightingale, Sing Sweet Nightingale, oh, sing sweet. I mean, come on. I was listening to that and listening to it was just so crazy. I listened to everything. I would go to my relative's house and I'd go to their record cabinet and I'd pull out their records, and they'd go, oh, there she goes again. And my dad don't go over there. I don't want you going through your uncle's records like that. He doesn't like it when you do that. And I go, okay, Daddy. And I'd get there. My uncle would say, honey, is there anything you like to listen to on the record player? Oh, gee, Uncle Joe, So,
Oh my gosh.
so that's just, I mean, obsessed.
Well, just listening to that brings back my memories of having all those albums. I still have my albums in storage right now. And the Disney. I know, right? I have like Alvin and the Chipmunks album in red.
Yes, and I bet you've got Alan Sherman's Hello Mudda, Hello Fada.
How do you know? Hello, Mudda. Hello, Fada.
That was a very important song because people who went to camp, that's what camp was like. He, totally captured that. But going back to the music thing and listening to these singers, all of the mediums that we didn't have, all we had was records, a little TV, and if you were very fortunate to go to the movies a lot, or go, or to go see live stage shows, which a music, like, I grew up in Chicago, so I saw the Motown Review a lot of times. And that was my school, actually. But then when you get to go to concerts, to philharmonic concerts or light opera presentations, or if you were lucky enough to go to the opera, all of that stuff just fed my, gotta do it. I've got to do it. I've got to do it. Gee, wouldn't it be great if I could do this?
Well, and you did. I mean, I'm going to throw out a stage play and Jesus Christ Superstar.
Absolutely.
That was you.
Yes, and how I got into that show was because Tom O'Horgan, our director, directed us in Hair. And that was my first Broadway show. My first legitimate theater production was the Hair in the Chicago cast. And I went on to do it in Vegas, and then I did the national tour. And so, you create this family. It's like, think about the people now who've been doing Les Mis for 13, 14, 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
So a whole community and a culture of people, who've been telling this story. So when you're involved in telling a story on the stage, on the great stage, you're forever, locked in, connected to the people, the music, the culture of it, all the subtext of everything. It's so exciting. Who knew it would be so much fun?
Well, to have that album, the original Broadway cast album of Jesus Christ Superstar that you're in.
Yes, that is an incredible thing. But when I think about how that record came out in 1970, I was on tour. I had come back from Europe and was on tour with Hair, and we would put that album at parties. We'd be listening to the overture and like dancing around like wild, unbridled hippies that we were. But that was, listen to that album for an entire year. That music was in our blood. So when I moved to New York and I found out that they were having auditions for Superstar, I went and auditioned for Tom O'Horgan. And Tom O'Horgan said to me, he said, darling, thank you so much for coming in. We'll be getting in touch with you at the end of the month. And at week, I found out that I had been cast.
Ooh.
I found out I had been cast because I ran into one of his right-hand people, the late, great Galen McKinley. I ran into on the street in New York, and he said, honey, you don't have to worry, you got a job. And I said, I do. And I had just auditioned for Hair in New York. And they told me no. They said, well, we'll keep you in our files. So then like 2 weeks later, Hair called me and asked me if I want to go in the New York company immediately. But by then I had already started rehearsals. I was getting ready to start rehearsals for Superstar. How crazy is that?
I wonder if they heard that you'd been in that. It's like, wait a minute, we want her.
But you know what? But there was I'd say about 25 people that I show with, and or more, and Tom pulled the people that he wanted, and he wanted to be equity compliant, actors equity compliant, so he saw a whole bunch of other people. But it's amazing because we just had a reunion recently, and we all talk about how the people who had been part of Tom's group of actors and his babies, as he called us, and then all these other people who came into the fold, these very unsuspecting souls. Oh, I'm going to be in a Broadway show, not knowing they were being thrust into the vortex of Tom Horgan's experimental theater madness, which was an incredible thing. Was just Brown.
Well, just to hear how you do that voice, and that it reminds me of the comedy, and this was one of my questions down the road too, was comic timing. You have this amazing comic timing, and when I heard this, I just thought of what I grew up loving was the Harlettes and and Bette Midler and that show and Clams on the Half Shell. First of all, how did you and Bette connect? And then what is one of your favorite memories of the Harlettes?
Well, you're going to love this. So this is straight out of, this is so showbiz sickening. It's so sweet. You can get diabetes from it, is how sweet it is. Yeah. So I had left Superstar and I was in a show called Tricks, which was based on the foibles of Scapin. And Renee Aubergenois was in the show. And I had left Superstar, myself and the two other girls, we got hired to be in the show, in the Commedia, and we were there with Joe Morton. And so we had put all this time in, we've been weeks, months in doing the show. This show was a dog and it was getting ready to go bye-bye. And so we were in our last day of previews. It was a Wednesday. The next night we opened. And Bette Midler and her then manager and very, very close friend and collaborator, Bill Hennessy, these are key names, came to see me at the at intermission at the theater. It was the Alvin Theater then, which became the. And she said to me, Charlo, she said, you know, I just finished doing Carnegie Hall and Lincoln Center, and we're getting ready to go on the road. And I wondered, would you be interested in replacing Melissa as one of my Harlettes? And I said, sure, just sure. Of course. The next day, so she said, great. She said, we're going to start rehearsals in a week. And I said, perfect. Not knowing, not having a clue that this show that I was in was saying ta-ta for now. So we opened the next night, Thursday. We got the notice on Friday that we were closing on Sunday. The show closed. And Monday, I started rehearsing with Melissa Manchester every day for 2 weeks. And she taught me everything. She taught me all the songs that Bette did in her show, a lot of which I knew because I had met Bette Midler. We were already friends. Yeah. We used to museum together. I'm not going to tell you what some of the other things that we would do. We'd go to the museum, we'd go to the Guggenheim, we'd go to MoCA, and we would just be, you know, like the art tarts we thought we wanted to be, and just hysterical laughing. One day I'll tell you what was really going on, but hysterical laughing, and then go have food, and then I would hang out with her, and we would listen to music once again, stacks and stacks and stacks and stacks and stacks and stacks and stacks of 78s and albums, and then 45s, and then one day, so I got the job, and I started touring with her, and you know, that was 70, 72, 73, 74, and 75, 76. That was the bicentennial year. We started rehearsing for Clams, like 75. And so I went over to her house one day, and somebody had brought this huge trunk, dragged this trunk up into her house on Barrow Street, and it was full of sheet music. And she hired a pianist, and we just sat at her house and sang for hours, her and me. Oh. Just, you know, and then we take breaks and we go around the corner to this place called the Pink Teacup and have soul food. And then we'd come back, but we had a routine, but we listened to so much music. My favorite thing was those days, we listened to the Boswell sisters for hours and listened to the Andrews sisters for hours. And what were we listening for? A lot of things. It was the tone, it was the expression. They were having so much fun. They're having so much fun. singing these songs. You listen whenever you see the Andrews Sisters now. I have such an appreciation for them even more because those girls were precise vocally. They were precise with their movements. They were hilarious, and that's what she wanted the Harlettes to be, basically.
Right.
Carrying a switchblade. We
Ah.
cut. But
and the wheelchairs.
that came later. But
Yeah.
we 3 girls sitting on a park bench under a street lamp.
I love that.
But that was, but the creative part of it, I replaced Melissa, who went on to blow up and just be magnificent. But it was a lot of work, but she really needed girls who had a theater background. So when Sharon Red and Robin Dreon and myself, the 3 of us were, I think, the first theater people, the first group of women who have had a theater background and experimental theater background at that, because you need to be able to flow with this thing. But we had beautiful harmonies. The music was always beautiful. The harmonies were great. And then our collaborative, the thing that we brought to it was very, very important. But then, of course, she demanded everything. And so we gave blood.
Vampires.
Not literally, but it was tough work. The only other people out there at that time who were doing anything even remotely close to that was the Ikettes. And they were kicking butt and taking names.
Well, you could see with the Harlettes and the Ikettes how hard they worked. I mean, it was like constant, and that's what made it so memorable. That's why we still remember you from these days, the Harlettes, the Ikettes, because of that energy and the focus and wanting to be the best.
And wanting to be the best. But the difference between the Ikettes, the difference between the Ikettes, all the Ikettes, let me tell you, those are the hardest working background singer dancers in the business ever. I don't know. I watch them now and I go, because Ike was cracking the whip on everybody, on Tina and on those girls. We understand now that there was a great deal of abuse behind all that perfection on stage.
Yeah.
But the more you do a thing, the better you get at it. And then the more the 3 of your bodies become in sync, the 4 bodies, you become very in sync. We had very magical moments on stage with her, when she in those early years. I love those years because those years were raw. Those were the years when, and you know what, you develop comic timing like being in vaudeville. They're teaching you backstage, but you know what I mean? You develop the comic timing. You develop all these things because you're in front of an audience and you're doing it. I mean, you can nurse and rehearse in the studio and you do a lot of that too. But when you get in front of an audience, then the real chemistry happens because the audience is pulling on you. They're excited. You come out carrying a bedpan. They're excited about that.
Yeah.
Which actually happens.
What in life, what inspires you?
Right now?
Sure.
Oh boy. If I didn't have faith, I didn't have faith in a power greater than myself, and if I didn't have faith in God, Yahweh, Yeshua, Adonai, Eloheinu, if I didn't have that at the core of my being, I would not be here. So I feel very inspired through my faith. But I'm very, very inspired by all of the young people that I've met who are very talented. Some of them know why. Some of them know that that's their purpose.
Yeah.
And for those that don't know that, I'm inspired and excited to encourage them to pursue their purpose. And when they've been given a gift, that gift is to be expressed and to be used. And who knows, that gift can lead to so many other things. But acknowledging that that's a deep desire. I mean, I had a very deep desire uh, to be on stage. I didn't understand why. I thought about it all the time. I was obsessed with it. You know, I kept it a secret from my family because I was doing all these other things. You know, I was taking the dance lessons and the piano lessons, and I was in the choir at church, and I was in the chorus at school, and went to state competition and did all that fun stuff. But all the time I yearned to be out there doing it.
Yeah.
And I didn't, and when you've got people around you that inspire you, that push you, that support you, that love you through and to your purpose and destiny, you can jump over a mountain. You could do great feats because you've got love and support and encouragement. So that's one thing that inspires me now. It inspires that when I'm inspiring and helping other young people come along, and even people in my own age who, you know, sometimes their dreams disappear.
Yeah.
But you know, you can reclaim them, you know, and still be here, as Elaine Stritch says, you know,
Yes.
watched all my dreams disappear, but I'm still here.
Yeah.
You know, it's great when you get to see your dreams fulfilled and help fulfill other dreams for other people. You know, I'm excited about that.
You know, and hearing you say that made me think of the students here, the actors, the performers here. This is being here at Performing Arts
Yes.
Studio West and Meet the Biz and the
Yes.
connecting with people inspires me. And we have several of the students here, and we're going to start with one of the questions today. We have the wonderful Devon Morgan. Devon Morgan.
Hi, Devon Morgan.
Hello there. How are you?
I'm great. Hi, Devon. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Okay. What's your question?
Well, considering that you inspire others
Oh, thank you.
to follow their dreams and just to basically be who you are, to help encourage others.
Thank
and
you.
Really, and I do the same thing as well with amongst these people here at Performing Arts. I help inspire them to follow their dreams as well.
Yes.
And so my question for you that I sent in was, since you are a singer, what is your favorite song you love to sing, and why is it your favorite?
Wow. Well, there are a couple of songs, but you know, when I go to karaoke, my favorite song to sing, my go-to karaoke song is I Fall to Pieces by Patsy Cline.
Oh.
And I like it because when you listen to her version, she sings so pure and she's singing sincerely from her heart. That's something she experienced when she says, I fall to pieces each time I see you again. So that's one that I love singing. It makes you stand up straight, and you can't over sing it. You have to sing it simply because it's a lament of the heart. And I love songs where you just get to sing your heart out. I like those big Broadway songs, but I like the small, intimate songs. I like girl group songs. I love songs from the 60s. I can sing that all day. I can sing Ronnie Spector all day and be a happy camper. And I'm going to add some of her music into my show. But, you know, the important thing is becoming good at what you do in the most humble way possible. And that is learning from other people, watching other videos, studying other people's renditions of songs, understanding what the lyrics are about, what the author, the composer we're talking about. I mean, there are songs now in this age of life that I can sing that I couldn't sing when I was 25. And it's not because I couldn't hit the notes. It's because I had not lived long enough to come to a really mature kind of expression. But the longer you live, the more you stay at it, the happier you're going to be, and be fresh with it, you know, be to be instant and in season with it. Those things are important. I want to say I wish you every good success, and that you're right where you need to be, and that you continue to inspire and encourage, and live your dream.
Thank you, Devon.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Devon.
Thank you so much.
Don't give up.
I won't.
You bet.
I could see the inspiration. You inspire constantly. I
don't have a choice.
I don't have a choice. It's within me. Yeah. I'm just hearing all this, the singing and then the inspiring. I mean, and as a singer, I mean, a session singer, you've worked with, of course, Bette, but Luther Vandross, Shaka Khan, Barry Manilow, Kiss. What is it like being a session singer for you?
Well, I started doing session singing when I was in, I actually started a little bit in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely a technical skill. Yeah. It's something you learn how to do. And when you're in a group of 2 to 5 singers, and if you've had any kind of choral work, and I think that all of my choral work helped me to make the adjustment in the studio. I was never intimidated. And once I understood how the voice printed on the tape, which I couldn't even tell you how that is, but just being in the studio behind the mic and just doing what you do ordinarily when you're learning a song. And if you don't know the song, you go in, you're doing it, you're doing it piece by piece, and then like sometimes you'll start doing, you'll learn the chorus first. So you record the chorus, right? And you'll go to the bridge, and then sometimes you'll go to the verse when you're doing backgrounds, and I learned a lot from Luther Vandross. He was the master at it. And it's because he loved singers. He loved solo singers. So we always have, when he would come to California and we would work together, we were always pulling on certain qualities that people like Sissy Houston had. Who she sang on everything. She was in the Sweet Inspirations, but she sang on all of Aretha's stuff. She did a lot of stuff. And I got a chance to work with her a lot in New York. And I learned a great deal from her. And so when you got a good group of people, you got a good, you're with a good group of people and you're making beautiful music. It's just, and you got a great conductor, a great leader on the session. And with Luther, he'd be making that stuff up on the spot. He'd say, okay, I got a few things. So we lay down the few things that he had. And while we were working together, and usually it was me, him, our dear friend David Lastly, who passed, they've gone on now. But there was a great group of us that we would work together, and he would make that stuff up on the spot. And it was just about being quick and just jumping in and being in the groove of something. That was the most incredible thing to me, is how extemporaneous some of our sessions were. And then there were other sessions where you're working with a lot of readers if you're a big choir, but then you learn how to move and operate in that, because if you can pick something up quickly, then you're ahead of the game. Then nobody knows that you're not a great reader. And I wasn't a great reader, but I could pick stuff up really fast and duplicate that. And also it's about duplicating the sound. Sometimes you're not singing full out. Sometimes you're singing real quiet, like ooh, ooh. You're singing quiet, breathy. Sometimes you're not in great voice, but that scratchiness prints well on the tape. It's not always about, some people would, the thing I love about background singers is that until we're called on to sing full out, we're all singing very kind of sotto voce, and it's texture, It's but it's funny, like if you listen to a song like the Nat King Cole, and you should play this for your students. Nat King Cole recorded a song called Sunday That Summer. But he goes, if I had to choose just one day, and the voices come in so clean. It might have been the Ray Conniff singer singing behind him, but just clean vocals, beautiful. And then he comes in on top of it. It just brings such an incredible, oh wow. It just creates this magic, this atmosphere for the song that he's talking about. Newborn whippoorwills are calling from the hills. You know, if you play that for your kids, they'll really love it. It's a beautiful song, Sunday That Summer.
Okay, we're gonna do that. You know,
Yeah.
at Performing Arts Studio West, we have 2 music teachers, we have 2 acting teachers, we have a dance teacher here. One of these days when we open up again, we'd love to have you come and visit us.
You count on me. I'm there.
Oh, I
there.
mean,
Love doing stuff like that.
I mean,
take a song and you teach it to everybody, and you build it. You know, it's just so much fun to do that. I love it. I can't wait.
This is gonna. And of course, you know, you were talking about all this, and you were a part of the Academy Award winning documentary 20 Feet from Stardom, which was all about this. So that's a movie to see if for those who haven't seen it.
You know, I feel like we barely scratched the surface that day. We talked about a lot of stuff in that movie. And I think that the most important thing is just being able to be, you know, some people don't want to be pushed to the front. I was one of those people. I mean, I've just only been doing my solo act maybe the last 10, 15 years.
Right.
Honestly, you know, I just go back to background singing at any point in the situation. What happens? Oh, she's background singing. But, you know, I never stopped. And I love doing it. I love doing it. It's a lot of fun. And it's safe.
Yeah. And hearing your stories of, I think Luther Vandross is the one. I used to go to concerts all the time, but I saw him, I think, 7 times in concert. I just loved him.
You know, he really grew. He was a background singer. He was a songwriter. Yeah. He was a composer, a vocal arranger, and he was pushed to the front because he could do it. You know, but it was something that he stepped into. I don't want to say reluctantly. It might have been a desire of his heart, but I think that was one point he just said, "Forget it. I'm just going to keep doing it. I'm going to step up, and I've got good support behind him." He said, "I've got good support behind me," and he did. Great musicians, and of course, the best singers in the business. You know, so he was fantastic. He definitely blazed a trail, and in terms of, you know, R&B music and popular music, he was definitely a voice and a force. I sure do miss him though. We used to have so much fun. We'd like sing like idiots in the studio and then go eat like pigs. Food always follows.
Oh my God, the history you have is like, it's great hearing it from you. We have another.
I'm still making it. I'm still making herstory.
Herstory. I love that. Definitely. We have Ashley Anderson here. Ashley Anderson coming to connect with you.
Ashley. Hello. Hi, Ashley. Aren't you beautiful? How are you?
Good.
Good. Do you have a question? Look at those.
Where was it I working with Whoopi Goldberg?
Say that again. I'm sorry.
Where was I working with Whoopi Goldberg?
Oh, yes. I loved working with Whoopi Goldberg. We worked on Sister Act together. And the first day of rehearsal, when I walked into the room and I saw her, and I said, "Hey, sister, how you doing?" And she walked right up to me and she threw her arms around me and hugged me. And it was like we've been friends from day one, and we had such a great time. We laughed every single day. We laughed until somebody fell on the floor.
Oh.
Working with her, I learned a lot about comedy from her. She's so quick, and it was fantastic to work with. I miss her very much. I'd love to do it again.
And Ashley, you had a second question, didn't you?
Yes. Is there anyone in the business you have worked with that you would like to?
Well,
I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch that.
that's all right. I got it. The one person that I worked in the business with who I would love to again, and it's my bucket list. It's the thing that I would like to achieve, is I would love to work with Barry Manilow again, my friend, my brother, and have him produce my jazz album. That's my bucket list. Who I'd like to work with again, most of all, before he gets too old. You are very beautiful. Are you an actress?
Yes.
And you are so lovely. And I know that you are working on good things, and I want you to keep up all the good work. Okay?
Okay.
All right, darling. God bless. She's
Thank
so
you.
beautiful. Those dimples, my goodness.
Isn't she? She's gorgeous in so many ways and so
Yeah.
talented.
Very
So
talented.
talented.
I can't wait to meet these people.
Oh my God.
Room with them.
You know, we have over 100 students at Performing Arts Studio West, and
That's fantastic.
it's amazing. And you know, I wanted to bring this up about Performing Arts Studio West and connections that you have.
Yes.
The late Bob Esty came to do it. I know he came to do a class and talked with us, and he sang. He had 3 students come up. In fact, I think Devon sang with him. And
wow. What song did he teach?
Oh God, you know, I'm blanking. You know, we have a clip of it online. I'll have to send it to you.
Oh, please.
But it was so wonderful. And that's, I think, the first time I met you when you sang at the yes, and Bob Esty was being honored.
Well, I'm sorry.
And Bob was there that day, and they were honoring him as well.
Yes, that was the day that I met Ava and Nicole Francis.
Oh.
It was at Rockwell Tables and Stage where we did that. And
yes.
That's the night that I met Ava. And then her dad asked me if I would mentor her. And the rest is history.
Oh, wow.
She just did a great show last night in London called Threats. And I haven't heard all the details, but her dad said that it was fantastic, that she killed.
Oh.
So that's really good. She's coming off of 2 great triumphs. It was fantastic. So, you know, like working with someone like her, who gets it, who has gotten it since she was a tiny tot. And I would sit and talk with her about stuff and just these kind of things, and talk with her, and she'd be like a sponge. She'd just soak it all in, and then I would say something later, and she totally, you know, get the reference.
Right.
And we're blessed to have those kind of interactions and with young people. I feel like in a lot of ways I pass on a lot of vital stuff to her. You know, it's like I have a son who's very talented, and he gets it too. It's just amazing when you get to impart. Yeah. You know, to impart what you know to help people. The business has changed so much. And I'm concerned that things come around politically, that a lot of things that what we do, a lot of the expression that we have, we're going to end up taking it underground. You know what I mean?
It's like it's being pulled back.
It is. It's like it's being pulled back. I mean, we're and we have to be very mindful to take care of each other and to preserve what it is that we do. You know, preservation of the arts, of what you're doing is so important. It's so important. And, you know, it's like we need each other, you know. Yeah, I feel like I'm somebody who's on the front lines as a performer, but as a teacher, as like you, it's like we need one another to bolster each other up and to keep each other current, but also to keep each other encouraged.
Yeah, beautiful.
I
thank you for that. What?
I polished your apple.
Oh my God. Well, thank you. And to hear that you are healing everybody who's watching this right now. And it's so true about, you know, I truthfully believe and I've said this before, I don't feel like I'm from this planet sometimes.
No, we're not. We're not civilians, first of all. We're not civilians. And I think when we recognize that, then we are able to we're better able to facilitate one another in this industry. Right. Because, you know, it's funny, you go to New York and you go to New York City and you are just inundated with art, community, and so here in California, in Southern California, everything is very, very spread out. We tend to feel we're more alone, we're more isolated, you know, and it becomes more and more of a challenge to gather together. You know, because now we're still not fully gathering together and we're doing this on Zoom. You know, we miss a lot of our physical intimacy. What the work that we do is very intimate. It's very, you know, and people looking from the outside looking in don't understand why we do what we do, the way that we do it, and why it's has such an allure, why people come from all over the world to here to Hollywood to, you know, I don't even know if they know what they're looking for. You know, they go to Hollywood Boulevard and they think that that's the street of dreams, and in many ways that it is, but there's so much more to it.
Oh yeah. It's truly about finding the love in it and finding the love that you could spread to others. And I think it's a healing work.
It is a healing work. It's a very deep healing work, because then you have to be willing to share your pain, process your pain on stage. I just had an experience at when we were in New York. I felt like I was gutted. I was singing Drinking Again and One for My Baby, a beautiful mashup, but I felt gutted. I felt like I turned a page. I thought, I don't have to sing this song anymore. I've already told this story, and I felt complete. I felt like I had been shot at dawn, and I didn't die. I bled out, and then I'm still standing, and that was unexpected. I didn't expect to experience that song that way.
Yeah,
but I did.
Talk about being in the moment.
Yes, and it got and it got a mention. You know, I felt I hadn't felt like that in a very, very long time on stage. You know, you don't want to have like an existential crisis in front of an audience, a club full of people. Well, what happened to her? Well, she had an existential crisis, but she's better for it now.
She had her therapist in the audience just in case.
One of my friends who coached me for Motormouth for the tour, she was sitting right in the middle of the audience, and I focused on her, and it helped me not go deeper into the abyss. But right. it kept me. I got through it, but oh my God.
You know, talking about Motormouth, I know we have a student here who has a question about Hairspray.
Oh, sure.
And she is the beautiful, the wonderful Ranjani Reyes.
That's me.
How are you?
Fantastic. I'm your biggest fan.
Oh, I believe it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. What question did you want to ask me about Hairspray?
Okay. Not, I have two things about that.
Okay.
Okay. Favorite things you love on screen with Hairspray or Sister Act?
That's tough. Wow. I have to say Sister Act.
Okay.
I had so much fun doing both of them, I tell you.
Yeah, next time we need a Wilbur Goomberg to the Bears.
Well, it was fun. I ended up in Sister Act on the soundtrack.
Yeah.
The soundtrack of the movie. I ended up singing a lot of Whoopi's parts, her lead parts. So what I did what they call a basic track.
Oh yeah.
A basic voice track of me singing, like when she would go, nothing you can say could tear me away from my God. Nothing you can try can make me tell a lie to my God. So I did a basic vocal track that was a guide vocal for her to sing the song in key. And they kept that in there. And then there was some other stuff that we did, but I had to do all of her vocal track vocal guides. So that was a lot of fun to do that for her because it really helped her to sing on key. So yeah, that was fun. Hairspray, I didn't do the movie. I just did the stage play, but
well, you traveled around with that.
Yeah, I toured. I toured with Hairspray for 3 years.
And Bruce, I love Bruce.
Bruce Valanche, our Valanche was my Edna Sternblad. I was Edna, and we had a blast. We had so much fun. You know, he and I go back. We were friends before Bette Midler and I became friends.
Oh, really?
That's so cool.
Where did you meet, you and Bruce?
Bruce and I met in Chicago. He was writing for the Chicago Tribune. He was a cub reporter. And I had just gotten into the Chicago Company of Hair. We had just opened, and he was hanging out at a place called Punchinello's, which was a very popular and wonderful theatrical restaurant and steakhouse. They had great food, and he was on stage. They had a piano player. He was on stage singing Eddie Cantor songs.
Oh.
He had a whole medley of Eddie Cantor songs that he was singing from the 20s and 30s that were just amazing. And I thought, here's someone I need to be friends with. They're singing Eddie Cantor tunes.
Oh, I love that. That's a great story.
And so when he started working with Bette, I was in Chicago to see Bette. I was still doing Superstar on Broadway. I'd come home to Chicago for a week. And I went, she said, oh, Charlotte, please come see me at Mr. Kelly's. I want you to see the girls. And so that was the debut of the Harlettes of Merle Miller, Gail Cantor, and Melissa Manchester. And Bruce Valanche was in the room because he had been hired to start to write for her. And when he saw me, we just hugged and hugged. And he says, I'm writing for Miss M. And I said, oh, that's great, and blah, blah, blah. And then when I joined her, then we just, the forge of a great friendship. We just carried on.
And here's another question.
Oh,
okay.
That was a great story. I love hearing these stories. It's like,
ask me, it spawns like he's got the stories though. He remembers everything. He met everyone.
I have another question for you.
Okay, good. What is that?
Who's inspired you when you sing with any collaboration with?
Come on, repeat that one more time for me.
Who's inspired you when you sing with collaboration with?
Collaboration with?
Yeah.
Well, you know who inspires me is Judy Garland.
Hey, woo!
Judy Garland, every day, all day. I listen to her. I listen to her and Barbara Streisand sing together. They sing,
Oh,
sing
I
Happy
love
Days.
that.
They sing Happy Days Are Here Again and Get Happy. And Ava and I do that in our show. It's a big showstopper. But I've been listening to, my son and I listen to a song that Judy sings called This Is My Lucky Day. I know I'm lucky. Yes, I'm lucky. This is my lucky day. My son and I sang that. He plays that in the car, and it's so inspiring, you know? So she's fabulous. Anything that she sings, it's just amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you, Miss Ashley.
Thank
No,
you,
it's
Ashley.
Ron Johnny.
You're Johnny?
Ron Johnny.
Johnny.
Ron Johnny Reyes.
There you go.
I'm sorry, Miss Ron Johnny. But
It's okay.
I've enjoyed talking to you. You asked me really good questions.
That's why I love your voice. This reminds me of church voice. Really good.
I have a church voice. I sing in church. Do you sing in church?
My mom does. My family are the music family because
That's good.
we sing together.
Well, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. So what's your favorite song to sing?
For me, I love to sing some like John Legend.
That's good.
And my mom's favorite, Stevie Wonder and Aretha Franklin.
Oh, yes, that's very good. Oh, a really good song for you to learn is Aretha Franklin's
I love it.
Call me the hour, call me the minute, second that you get there.
And I like.
Oh.
I watch Respect, so it's good.
That's fantastic. Hey, you be good. God bless you, my friend. Take good care of yourself. Peace. Namaste.
Thank you, Ron Johnny.
Thank you, Ron Johnny. Mwah.
Oh.
Beautiful. Yay.
Oh my gosh. Well, I know we only have about 10 more minutes, and we could stay online for hours because you have this history. I was like, oh, I want to ask you about this and this. I do want to ask you.
Well,
okay. What about Married with Children? How did you get the role of Louise? How did that come about?
Well, Katie and I are friends.
Right.
We never harlots together, but we hung out together and we would laugh. She said, Charlotte, I want you to come on my show and play one of my girlfriends. And so they had only done the pilot and they were getting ready to start shooting the series. And so I came in for, we did like it was an audition, and I went in and read with her at the audition, and they were all laughing. And then I came back for a callback with the suits, and they laughing. And then they hired me. So I did, I've had about maybe 4 reoccurring episodes with that show. And, I love doing it with her. But the thing of it is that some things, when things start to shift, things change in a sitcom, they're taking another direction. It becomes a little bit more caustic. It wasn't fun to do after a while. But I was happy to be a part of that. But we laughed an awful lot, and it was good.
Well, I love how you're talking too, that you guys, you gals were both friends beforehand. And, and same with you and Bet. I mean, you went on to do Beaches with her.
Let me just, so I auditioned for that show, for that movie. My agent sent me up for that, and I went in and I sang a whole bunch of songs. Sang a whole bunch of songs. I don't even think that they had much dialogue, but I sang a bunch of songs, and I went in. So then, and I had a callback. I had a callback at Disney, and I went to the callback, and Bet was at the callback, and she said to me, she walked up to me, she said, "Are you going to be part of this show?" Just like that. And I said, "Maybe." And we were like hugging. We were just like hugging, like swinging to and fro. She said, "It would be so much fun if you could be on this show." And I said, "Well, I don't know who has to make that decision." And Gary Marshall walks in and he went, "Oh, you're in love already." And Bet said, "This is one of my girls." And so then he started talking to me, and we were talking and laughing, and he said, "Oh, she can talk." And that's how I got it. And so we'll call your agent later today. And I went home and they called my agent and sent me the script.
Oh,
And then we started rehearsing, and we rehearsed for about a month. And Bet would call me and she'd go, come to my dressing room, come to my, I mean, you know, so we were just like back connected again.
yeah.
You know, and she'd come up to me and she'd go, what do you think about so-and-so? What do you think about that? Blah, 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 blah. Because that was our relationship.
Yeah.
You know, we were always kibitzing about something, you know, and just sitting and watching her work was so great, you know. And then people would come up to me and they'd say, well, what do you think about blah, blah, blah? And I go, why are you asking me? Well, you know how she is, and da, 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 da. And I would go, you know, everything is cool. It was interesting, a very interesting vibe. But we had a lot of fun doing that show. It was tough. The scene that I was in, the auto tick thing, Inventor and Crowd. Our friend Jerry Blatt, who wrote the music to Tricks, that I had done back in '72, he wrote that song Auto Titzling for her.
Oh my God, I love that. Auto titzling.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna get about 2 more students in, and then we have next here. I see Monique and Mark here, and let's see who we're gonna do. Let's try Monique. Monique Washington.
Hello.
Hello, Monique. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful.
And what's your today?
Your voice, I look at your singing, your voice is so powerful, it's so amazing to hear you sing.
Thank you.
How you do, you go to church, so how you sing like that in your voice?
I started out singing in church when I was 7, and I sang in church until I was about 16. But I was also taking chorus. I was in a girls' chorus in school, and I was also in the band. I played clarinet. So I was always involved in music. But my voice, you know, when you start doing singing Broadway's, when you in the Broadway style, I was fortunate that I could still have a more of a rock style, a rock gospel-y kind of a vocal style for the shows that I was in at that time, that demanded that you have a more of a a rock style voice, like let the sun shine in, the sun shine in, whoa, doing that kind of gospel singing. But then when I got into Hairspray, it was a little bit different kind of vocal quality, but I was used to gospel, and that was important too. But I took voice lessons, and I'm looking for a voice teacher right now, a voice coach. But just to, it's important to have your strengths, to not only just take care of your throat, your vocal cords, but to take care of your body. You have to be strong to sing, to stand up straight and have that support, the technical support to sustain those notes, and not lose your voice. The few times that I have lost my voice, I had to go on what they call vocal rest. Don't speak. You don't talk.
Don't speak.
You don't talk. You do all your remedies, whatever the remedies are, but you don't talk, and you write notes. And the only thing you do is that you sing, but you save your voice for singing. It was very difficult. It was very difficult. I was on vocal rest for 7 days.
Well, you took care of yourself.
I sing all my life.
I was not doctor's orders. I was on vocal rest. Not talk, but I could sing. So I was taking voice lessons, and I had and my voice teacher had me do very soft things like this, while you roll your tongue. or do your lips. So I did these exercises, and then and then he would have me do scales, and I would do some scales, and then I would be quiet. And then I would go to rehearsal and I would sing the 2 songs that I had in the show at rehearsal, and then I would be quiet. I had a chalkboard with me. I had a little blackboard, and people would ask questions. People were terrible. They would come up to me, they go, Charlotte, blah, 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 blah. And I couldn't answer them. And I would just be shaking my head. You know, people would just come up to me and they would make me laugh, and I couldn't laugh out loud. I had to really keep my voice quiet because I've got a real loud laugh. So that was crazy. I had to be in on vocal rest. But I say all that to say, taking care of yourself, taking care of your voice, getting rest, sleep, that's a good thing. You know, I learned that you only eat lemons in the morning, have tea with lemon, and every other time you have honey, or you take honey by mouth. I learned a thing from Donna Summer, the late great Donna Summer. In the morning when she got up and her voice was her vocal cords were, you know, when your vocal cords are relaxed, they're like this. And when they're swollen, they come together like that. And so she would take 2 Tylenol a half hour before she would do her warm-ups. And her vocal cords would be, the swelling would be out of her vocal cords. And she would sing like a bird. But there are all these things that you have to do to keep yourself healthy, wrap your voice, you know, and also to sing songs that are in your key, and try not to like sing too. Yeah. You know, when people start out a song, they sound like in church, but they'll start out a song. Like one of my favorites is the Lord's Prayer, but there's a part that I always sing that goes, let the words of my mouth, let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight. Oh Lord, teach me how to serve thee. Oh Lord, teach me how to pray. So singing that little invocation is so important, to be able to sing it. Thank you. To sing it pure and simple and prayerfully. But some people start it too high or too low, and then they get in trouble, and they get into the Our Father who art in heaven, so that you have to be able to sing it, whatever you're singing, stay on key, don't push, and get through it. It's so nice to meet you, Miss Monique. Are you a singer?
Yes, I'm a singer. I sing all my life.
Good.
I do sing at church.
Yeah.
And I do sing I will bless the Lord, oh my soul, let all that is within me bless his holy name.
Beautiful. Oh, I love that. Yay. Because he has done great things.
Yeah. Thank you.
Don't stop. Keep going. Keep going and be blessed. The best is yet just ahead, my friends.
Thank you, Monique. Well,
thank you, Monique.
I love where all these questions lead and follow. We have one more student who's gonna ask a question, then I'll send you to the next room. We have Mark Wells here.
Hi, Mark Wells.
Hi, I got questions to tell you.
Okay.
In 1978, you accepted as a role in Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band.
Yes, sir.
How did you get accepted to that role in that disco movie?
Thank you for asking that question. The young ladies that I sang with at the time, we were Harlettes with Bette Midler, Sharon Redd, Ula Hedwig, and myself. And we were performing all over Southern California. We were performing with Bette Midler, and we had a show that we did here in Los Angeles. And the director came and saw us, and he liked us, and we got hired to be on in that number. It was quite a few famous faces in that number. It was fun, and we were just singing Sgt. Pepper's Lonely. We were just singing that song at the end, and that's how we got on that picture. It was a lot of fun.
Really, all those singers.
Oh, okay. Okay, and also how long does it take you to be accepted into that role?
It didn't take any time at all. The director came and saw us perform. We were performing at the back lot in Hollywood at Studio One. And he came and saw us and liked us and asked our manager if we wanted to be in it. So it was less than a week, you know?
Wow. Okay.
And we were in that scene with a lot of great people.
Wonderful. Thank you, Mark.
I'm a fan of that movie. I just because I like disco and
the
my
Beatles.
mom likes disco.
Yes, that's fantastic. It was a sweet movie. I haven't seen it in a long time. I need to see it.
Me too. It's one of those movies that you know, especially coming from the Beatles, you know.
Oh, especially. That was a lot of fun. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Mark.
Mark, are you an actor? Are you a musician?
I think I like to do singing and probably acting and probably dancing too as well.
Well, that's fantastic. You keep going.
I've been a PASW performer, and I'm for 11 years. I'm 40 years old now.
Well, God bless. That's good. You keep going. You know, you're just getting started.
That's right.
Started.
Thanks.
All the best to you, my friend.
I tell you, it's the PASW family.
You better believe it. And what a great group of people. So sweet and so precious. Dave, how did you get to this? Is this your brainchild?
Well, the brainchild of Performing Arts Studio West is John Paces, who is the founder and creator of this amazing program. And it's been, you know, if you ask me the exact years, what is it, 25 years now almost?
Hi, this is John.
John.
What a pleasure to have you here with us. Thank you so much, being so generous with your time. And I want to say, I happen to be living in New York when Clams on the Half Shell was there. So I got to see you guys perform. And I don't think up until that point I had ever been that entertained for that period of time for so long. It was such a kick and just so gitchy and so fun and so campy. It was just delightful. Delightful.
You know what my favorite part of that show was? When we came out to open the second act with that jump quarter, and we danced out to the middle of the stage and got up on a ladder and put the quarter in the jukebox, and then the jukebox lit up and then opened up to Lionel Hampton. That was the most amazing thing to me. That and of course King Kong. But oh my, what a situation. I mean, you want to talk about, you know,
production values, number one. I mean,
production value.
And you know, Cheryl, I had forgotten, I just was going back and Googling things this morning just to kind of refresh myself. And I'd forgotten that Lionel Hampton was in that. I just said, oh my God. And then I just remembered wow.
And you know, because he was in it, every single person of his era that was alive then came to see the show. Lena Horne, we were flabbergasted.
Oh, I can imagine.
I mean, so many people came to see him and to talk to him, and just Lauren Bacall, Julie Andrews. I mean, the people that we met. I mean, that's what I think about. I mean, of course, the show was fantastic, and we worked like a cart horse. We worked so hard, but my father and my stepmother came to see the show, and they were sitting fourth row on the aisle. And my dad, we come out, we've got those outfits on with the little bikinis and the crustaceans covering vital parts and this gold netting that was over, and with these gold stockings, and we looked beautiful. And my father says to me from the audience over the music, he says to me, "Are you naked? Why are you naked?" Fourth row on the aisle.
That is too funny.
Did you say, Dad?
And I just kept on dancing. We were singing Manakura, Sakuna Manakura, and he's going, "Are you naked?"
Oh, how fun.
Elbowing him. Oh my God. Can you believe that? Anyway, I want to thank you guys.
Thank you again for being here. And just as point of reference, this June is our 24th anniversary of the studio.
Well, I look forward to when you guys open up and start having people. I look forward to coming and being a part of your classes, and you can count on me. I just love talking to kids, and I'm just so excited about what you do.
So you're based here in LA, right?
I am at the moment.
Okay.
I love it.
Wherever the winds blow, right?
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you
Charlotte.
so
Just
much.
what an immense pleasure meeting you, and just fascinating stuff. And thank you for your kindness and your generosity and your time.
It was wonderful.
Keep up the good work. And
thank you so much.
And let me know at any time if you need me to do anything, polish apples.